Hello and welcome to Cal Grants and State Financial Aid Programs. Here is today's agenda. We will be covering the following topics: Cal Grants ABC, Cal Grant Award Types, Cal Grant Award Cycles, Student Eligibility, the Middle Class Scholarship Program, and the Chafee Grant for Foster Youth. Although we are best known for the Cal Grant, the largest program that the Commission administers, we also offer students financial assistance for higher education through the Middle Class Scholarship, Chafee Grant for Foster Youth, Law Enforcement Personnel Dependents Grant, and the California Military Department GI Bill Award Program. Let's start talking about the programs administered by the Student Aid Commission. First up is our Cal Grant program. To be eligible for Cal Grant consideration, students must have two components: a completed financial application, in this case either the FAFSA or the California DREAM Act application, and a GPA submitted and matched in the Commission's system. For high school seniors, they can complete their financial aid application beginning October 1st. It is critical that the March 2nd deadline is met for both the application and the GPA upload. This will give students full consideration for a Cal Grant as early as November. There are two deadlines when it comes to Cal Grant awarding. The first is the Cal Grant priority filing deadline of March 2nd. This deadline ensures that all students, high school, college, and returning adult college students, can be processed for all award types and award cycles. This deadline is particularly important for high school seniors and previous year high school graduates. While the September 2nd deadline now has much more significance based on recent changes in legislation, the March 2nd deadline remains the priority Cal Grant deadline for your high school seniors and students who graduated the previous year. Although March 2nd is the absolute deadline for many students, the key date to remember is still October 1st, which is when students can begin applying with the FAFSA or the California DREAM Act application. For those whom upload high school GPAs, March 2nd is also the final day that you are able to upload GPAs. We previously referred to the September 2nd deadline as the Community College Competitive Award Deadline. Of course, now the September 2nd deadline is much more significant for a huge pool of potential Cal Grant awardees. As we mentioned in our updates, the new Cal Grant expansion for California community college students is a significant change, making the September 2nd deadline incredibly important for those students who did not initially receive a Cal Grant out of high school. California community college students may now be awarded a Cal Grant A or B entitlement award by applying prior to September 2nd deadline. Additionally, students receiving an award at a community college remain eligible to continue receiving their Cal Grant if they transfer to a CSU or UC. Students transferring to a private institution may be considered for a transfer entitlement or competitive Cal Grant award. The Cal Grant B for Foster Youth award maintains the September 2nd deadline to apply, and those students are still considered to be entitlement applicants. To be awarded and paid a Cal Grant award, students must attend a Cal Grant eligible college. It is a common misconception among students that a Cal Grant can be used at any college as long as it is located in the state of California. While it is true that all public colleges, California community colleges, CSUs, and UCs are eligible, not all private colleges meet our set of standards. Students who wish to be considered for the Cal Grant Award should list a Cal Grant eligible college on their financial aid application, which can be found on the Commission's website. Students can search by college name, by city, or by segment. In order to receive notice of their Cal Grant Award, the college must be on our eligible college list, so please remind students to check. Next, let us discuss the Cal Grant Award types. Cal Grant A awards target lower to middle income students. Students must have minimum GPA of 3.0, and this award provides assistance with tuition and fees for associate or bachelor degree programs that are at least 2 years in duration. Here we can see the maximum dollar amounts per year at the different institutional segments. Cal Grant A awards for students attending a California community college are put on Community College Reserve for up to 2 years automatically, with a third year via request by the student via their student portal. There is one very important exception. Students with dependent children, an award that we will discuss in a moment, may be eligible up to a maximum of $6,000 access award while attending a community college with a Cal Grant A. Cal Grant B awards have a minimum GPA requirement of 2.0. They also have lower income and assets requirements than the Cal Grant A. This award is targeted for lower income students and also provides them with a living allowance, also known as an access award, in addition to the assistance with tuition and fees. This grant operates a little differently because in the first year, the vast majority of students will only receive $1,648 access award portion of the grant, with the awarding of the tuition and fees kicking in their second, third, and fourth year. For a Cal Grant B, the coursework must be at least 1 academic year in length and may be a certificate or degree program. Once again, students with dependent children may be eligible for up to $6,000 access award with the Cal Grant B. Current and former foster youth students, i.e., a person whose dependency was established or continued by the court on or after the date on which the person reached 13 years of age, are eligible to receive Cal Grant B High School Entitlement Award consideration. They are given consideration as long as they have not yet reached 26 years of age as of July 1st of the initial award year and submit a qualifying high school GPA or test score, regardless of the date of high school graduation or the equivalent. The maximum eligibility has been increased from 4 years to 8 years of total award eligibility. If you have a student who is a current or former foster youth, please ensure that they indicate that on their application and communicate it to whatever college they are planning on attending. Due to $20 million in ongoing general fund money, there will be an increase in access awards for former or current foster youth. New and renewal Cal Grant A students who are current or former foster youth would receive an access award of up to $6,000, while new and renewal Cal Grant B students who are current or former foster youth would also see an increase from $1,648 up to, again, $6,000. And Cal Grant C students eligible would see an increase up to $4,000. This award is in addition to the Chafee Grant program. Students must have been in foster care between the ages of 16 and 18, like the Chafee Grant program. If a student is not eligible for a Cal Grant A or B, they could still be considered for a Cal Grant C if they are enrolled in an occupational or technical program of at least 4 months in length. Students still must meet all income and asset requirements and have financial need, as we discussed earlier. Unlike Cal Grant A or B, Cal Grant C has no GPA submission requirement. Students need to attend a Cal Grant eligible institution that offers a recognized occupational or technical program. Once students are deemed financially eligible for a Cal Grant C, we ask for additional information via the Cal Grant C supplement form because students are ranked for eligibility based on certain factors. Having said that, virtually all eligible Cal Grant C students are awarded. For Cal Grant C, students with dependent children may be eligible up to $4,000 maximum yearly access award. Cal Grant awarded students with dependent children are eligible to receive a significantly larger Cal Grant Access Award. Students at California community colleges, California state universities, and University of California campuses with dependent children under 18 years of age for whom they provide more than 50% of support can qualify. Eligibility is initially determined by the Dependent Children question on the FAFSA or California DREAM Act application. Do you now have, or will you have, children who will receive more than half of their support from you? The Access Award pays up to $6,000 for qualifying Cal Grant A and B recipients, or up to $4,000 for eligible Cal Grant C recipients. One significant change, of course, is there is no automatic community college reserve for students with dependent children receiving a Cal Grant A at a community college. This means that for the first time, a student with a Cal Grant A could actually be paid at a community college if they qualify for this award. While there are 3 different types of Cal Grant students can receive, it is important to note that students can only receive one type of grant at any given time. When students apply for Cal Grant, they are not applying specifically for just one Cal Grant, but they are being considered for all 3 types of Cal Grants, as well as the middle class scholarship. In the event that a student meets the requirements for multiple grants, the grant deemed most beneficial will be applied and students will be notified of their Cal Grant award. Next, let's look at the award cycle flowchart to better understand entitlement and competitive awards. There are 2 types of Cal Grant applicants: entitlement and competitive. While the Cal Grant itself is the same in that an entitlement grant pays the same as a competitive grant, the student cohort being considered for each award type is different. Here is the main takeaway. Entitlement Cal Grants are guaranteed for students who meet eligibility requirements. Competitive Cal Grants are equally great, but limited in number and therefore much more difficult to get, even for students with significant financial need. Why are entitlement awards easier to get? Basically, if a student meets the requirements as an entitlement applicant, they are entitled to receive the Cal Grant. California does not limit the number of entitlement Cal Grants that can be awarded each year, nor does it cap the total dollar amount that the state spends on entitlement grants. So who is eligible for entitlement grants? High school seniors and last year graduates are eligible for high school entitlement grants, or E1. This means that the easiest time to be awarded a Cal Grant is as a high school senior or the year after high school graduation. There is a second type of entitlement applicant. Students who were not awarded a Cal Grant as a high school entitlement applicant or a competitive applicant may be eligible to receive the Transfer Entitlement Cal Grant, or E2. This grant is for students who transfer from a California community college to a bachelor degree program at a private four-year university by the age of 27. And there is a third new type of entitlement applicant. This is our California Community College expansion. This one entitles any student that attends a California community college to a Cal Grant A or B if they are eligible, despite not having been awarded at the time of their high school graduation or year following. These students must apply by our September 2nd deadline. What is a competitive award? Unlike entitlement awards, competitive awards are limited in the number of awards issued each year, which makes it very difficult to get. The good thing is that any student who is not awarded a Cal Grant Entitlement Award will generally be considered for a Cal Grant Competitive Award, provided an on-time financial aid application and GPA received by the March 2nd deadline. Now, you do not need to remember all these details, but the thing we hope you take away is remember that helping to position your students to start college right after high school or attending a community college will ensure their best opportunity to receive a Cal Grant. We have discussed the Cal Grant application basics, award types, and cycles. So now let's discuss the student eligibility requirements. Students must meet basic eligibility requirements to be eligible for financial aid, including Cal Grants. The Cal Grant basic requirements stipulate that students are U.S. citizens or eligible non-citizens, or meet AB 540 eligibility criteria, have been a California resident for 1 year, attend a qualifying California college, do not already have a bachelor's or professional degree, be enrolled at least half-time, register with the U.S. Selective Service if required to do so, do not owe a refund on any state or federal grant, nor in default on a student loan, is not incarcerated, maintains satisfactory academic progress standards established by the school, and have a GPA or equivalent submitted when applying. One of the Cal Grant requirements is that students are income qualified. As a requirement, a student's total family income must be within the ceiling for their family size. If a student is a dependent student, only their parents' income and assets are used. If the student is deemed independent, then only the student's income and their spouse is used. The ceilings are also broken down by family size and the different grant types, Cal Grants A, B, and C. Let's now take a look at another program that we administer, our Middle Class Scholarship Program, or MCS. Students enrolled at a UC, CSU, or California Community College bachelor degree program whose income exceeds the limits for a Cal Grant A or B will be automatically considered for the Middle Class Scholarship if they applied on time with the FAFSA or California Dream Act application. In order to be eligible, students must be enrolled at least half-time in their first undergraduate program, meaning they cannot have previously earned a bachelor's degree. Only students who have less than 40% of their UC, CSU, or California Community College bachelor's degree program fees covered by any other grants or scholarships are eligible to receive the Middle Class Scholarship. Additionally, students must have income and assets of $191,000 or less. Remember, students will be considered upon successful completion of a on-time FAFSA or California Dream Act application. There are no additional applications needed. Sometimes students do not apply for aid because they believe their family makes too much money to get an award, but that is not always the case. It is important that we encourage all students to apply for financial aid early so that they may be considered for all programs. Next, we will be discussing the Chafee Grant for Foster Youth Program. The Chafee Grant is available to current and former foster youth who were dependents or wards of the court living in foster care for at least 1 day between the ages of 16 and 18. Students need to file a financial aid application every year. It is important to note that the March 2nd deadline does not apply for the Chafee Grant program. However, students still should file their financial aid applications prior to the March 2nd deadline so they can be considered also for a Cal Grant. Students can receive both a Cal Grant and Chafee Grant in the same academic year. The Chafee Grant assists current and former foster youth that were dependents or wards of the court living in foster care, again for at least 1 day between the ages of 16 and 18. The application process for the Chafee Grant requires that students complete either a FAFSA or California DREAM Act every year. Students must complete the Chafee Grant application as well, but only 1 time. The California Department of Social Services, or CDSS, will verify foster youth status electronically within a month of submitting both the financial aid application and Chafee application. The verification is also a 1-time requirement. Lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at 2 of our additional programs. The Law Enforcement Personnel Dependence Grant, LEPD, is for dependents of spouses, peace officers, and firefighters who were either permanently disabled or passed away while in the line of duty. The LEPD program provides need-based educational grants to dependents and spouses of California designated peace officers, firefighters, and Department of Correction employees with demonstrated financial need. The parent must have died in the line of duty or have been 100% disabled as a direct result of an accident or injury in the line of duty. The program, although called a grant, acts as a scholarship and is equal in award amounts to the Cal Grant. The California Military Department GI Bill Award Program, CMD GI Bill, formerly the California National Guard Education Assistance Award Program, CNG EAAP, is a state-funded grant for up to 1,000 service members in the California Military Department, or as many participants as the annual budget will allow. This program authorizes the Student Aid Commission to make payments to accepted eligible program participants. Participants can receive up to the amount of the Cal Grant A Award for attending the University of California or the California State University, and up to the Cal Grant B Award for attending a community college, or up to the University of California Cal Grant A amount attending a non-public institution. Please visit our website at csac.ca.gov to learn more about each program. Please contact our institutional support team if you have additional questions about any of our specialized programs that we administer. Please contact the school support team at the Commission if you need further assistance. You can email us at schoolsupport@csac.ca.gov. You can also call during our business hours between 8:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. at 888-294-0153.